Ladies and gentlemen, if pictures could tell 1,000 words, I want y'all to take a moment and I want y'all to look at this picture. And by the way, if you get triggered really easily, this might not be the channel for you because I'm going to say some things that are not going to sit well with your sensibilities. I also want to say thank you to Make This Go Viral TV. And also I want to say thank you to Illicit Deeds on Facebook and her website and on YouTube as well. This story gets a bit crazy, but I'm going to tell you guys, I have some strong opinions and I want y'all to look at this dude's face. This is the face that a mother decided to trust around her baby. Basically a newborn baby. And I want y'all to look at this face and tell me, if y'all looked at this face, would you trust this face? I would not trust this face around my pet lizard. I wouldn't trust this face around my pet turtle, my pet armadillo, my pet rat. I wouldn't trust this individual to watch my goldfish, let alone a human baby. Do y'all hear me? A heartbroken mom, and I want y'all to understand this. They say a heartbroken mom blamed her two-time in Brooklyn boyfriend Tuesday for fatally beating her 4-month-old girl. So not even a boy, it was a girl. Beat up a 4-month-old baby girl when the infant started crying. That beautiful baby right there. This baby cried, and y'all are not going to believe why he beat this baby. Does anybody already know? Or did you read the title? Or do you guys follow the channel enough that you recognize my hashtag, our world famous hashtag, which is, when you date thugs, you date death. A lot of people ask me, why did I come up with that? I don't know. Sometimes I just think of crazy things, and it seems like that hashtag fits so many of these stories. Because when you date dudes, pardon my language, that ain't shit, this is the result that you get. This is why we have to be careful not only about who you date, why you have to do background checks on anybody you date just for yourself alone. But even more especially, why you have to watch who you date and bring around your children. Even furthermore, as much as we would check on a daycare before we just leave our children with just any random daycare, let me go back to that picture because this is pissing me off. I want y'all to look at this dude's face and y'all tell me, if you looked him in the face, what do you think would qualify him as a suitable babysitter? Anything? This boy looked like he has like a 2nd grade education. That boy looks slower than a turtle in a turtle race. That boy looks slower than a frozen bottle of molasses. If that boy wore a box of crayons, he'd be about a navy blue, because he damn sure ain't the brightest crayon in the box. Huh? If you guys did not know, this man lost control of his emotions because he was sitting here and the baby wouldn't stop crying, but he had to mash these buttons on this video game, right? And don't laugh at my PlayStation controller. This is actually the USB, so I use this on my Steam sometimes. But yeah, he said, well, I got the Xbox one right here, so maybe I ought to use that one, because I think that's what he beat the baby up to. So let me put the PlayStation controller down. Let's pick up the Xbox controller. We want to make sure and get this accurate. We want to make sure this is right. This is the Xbox. So he was sitting there. You can hear me mashing on the buttons. This is very important. You know, you have to move the little thing around. You have to strafe and move to the side, blah, blah, blah. Oh, crap. A baby is crying. A baby is crying. What's the appropriate response when a baby interrupts your video games? What are you supposed to do? Parenting 101. And I want y'all to answer that question for me. When you are gaming, when you are a serious gamer, you got your 2 and 3 screens, and you got your headphones on, you got your cheap $9.99 Walmart headphones on. Nothing wrong with Walmart headphones. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. What is the course of action when a baby is crying? When you are playing freaking video games? When you on Fortnite, huh? Do you drop the controller and go check on the child? Do you drop the controller, go console the child? Maybe feed the child, change the child, hold the child, love the child? Maybe check the baby's temperature? No, you don't do any of those things. Why would a sensible individual go do any of those freaking things? You know what you're supposed to do when you are a dumbass like this? Yes. If you look up the word dumbass in the dictionary, you would find an emoji of this face right there. That's the dumbass face. Let's go back. Let me see. That's the face. That's the face right there. Little half dead, just freaking, I don't know what his face looks like. It just looks disgusting. Apparently what you're supposed to do is you beat the baby up with your fist. How many of you guys think that's appropriate? Because I have to tell you guys, I am quite disgusted at the family members, including the mother, the cousins, and anybody who decided to come out and tell us, including Illicit Deeds, that we couldn't have an opinion about these stories. They told the people in her comment section that we can't have a negative opinion about this story, and we shouldn't be looking at the mother or the cousins or the family to say, why was this unqualified babysitter boyfriend of yours that I got to back way up on this one. That yo ass like sleeping with, huh? You like sleeping with him. What qualified the fact that you like sleeping with him and that would make him a good babysitter for a 4-month-old little girl that does not belong to him? Huh? Oh, we're going to talk about these damn screenshots here in a minute. I want y'all to hear me again. If y'all are coming for the news, I'm sorry that this is not the news. Let me apologize. I know y'all thought this was a professional news station. Y'all thought that I was supposed to be demure and you didn't think I was supposed to curse and have an opinion and I'm just supposed to just read the news article and not have an opinion, right? Is that what some of y'all thought? Well, that's not what this is. People come here to listen to what my thoughts are because we have to start thinking about these things more sensibly when it comes to our children. And I hope I said that right. Sensibly. Sensibility, sensibly. That makes no sense. Here's also what you also have to think. Common sense should tell you this. We're going to talk about that GoFundMe here in a minute too. If the man don't have a job, a career, something that he does from day to day, productive to create income, he's probably not a suitable babysitter. Yes? Babysitters and daycares have qualifications for a freaking reason. Because it's not everybody can be a father. Not everybody can be a mother. Not everybody can be around a baby and raise a baby. That is something that comes from the inside and it comes with a lot of experience and you have to have some training before you jump into it. You can't just sit there and say, oh, well, it's a baby. All I got to do is just throw a bottle at it and maybe change a diaper and that's all it is to it. Because it's not. And this is coming from a father who took care of his daughter the majority of that time, along with my daughter's mama, and shout out to her. We did that together. as a team and as a family. And I'm telling y'all, even with all the help I had, it was hard to raise one child. This man, his video game was interrupted because the baby was crying. That beautiful baby girl right there with those angel eyes needed some attention. And this man decided, my video game is more important. My Fortnite is more important, or whatever it is that these fools play now. Put the controller down and beat the baby up. Listen at these details. That fool that I was talking about, let me see if I can get his face back up here. That guy, his name is Ricardo Price. Ricardo, R-I-C-A-R-D-O, Price, P-R-I-C-E, 23 years old. He was arrested. Matter of fact, I want y'all to think about this. I was 24 when my daughter's mom gave birth to my daughter. That puts us in the same age range when we were around young babies. Think about that for a moment. He was arrested for attempted murder and assault last month and could face upgraded charges now that tiny baby Royalty Kemp's July 1st death has been ruled a homicide caused by abusive head trauma by the city medical examiner. The baby did not live. 14 days ago, 2 weeks ago, the baby died, and the baby's death was ruled a homicide. If y'all would, do me a favor and let me know that y'all heard that. Candace said, hey, Candace, I can't repeat that word, but I 100% agree with you. I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but what Candace just said in the chat, I 100% agree with you. Absolutely. Now, do me a favor while we take a pause real quick. We're at 289 thumbs up. We have about 500 people here. We're asking for 400 thumbs up. So we just need 200 people to click that thumbs up, if y'all would, please. Just take a pause. I have so much more to tell y'all. Please click that thumbs up, okay? And then we'll talk about Summer Wells, that baby here, in just a moment, okay? Ricardo Price was babysitting the newborn baby, Royalty Kemp, Bedford, is that Bed-Stuy? Is that what they call it? Bed-Stuy, Bedford, Stuyvesant? Bedford Stuyvesant, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, apartment that he shares with another girlfriend when the fatal incident occurred on June the 21st, according to mom Erica Kemp. Oh my goodness. I'm going to read that again. Holy hell. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. Let me check my volume, make sure we're good. Make sure y'all can hear me. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, y'all should be able to hear me pretty good. It says that Ricardo Price was babysitting the newborn baby inside an apartment that he shares with another girlfriend when the fatal incident occurred on June the 21st, according to the mother, Erica Kemp. Wow. And then let me back this picture up. I want y'all to look at this picture and I want y'all to understand that it sounds like what they're saying, unless I'm wrong, that this man had 2 girlfriends, no job, and dresses like this. I don't even know where you find a do-rag that looks like that. It don't even look like he has any hair. I could be wrong, but it just look weird. I don't know. The food just look weird. Maybe that's attractive. You know, y'all know how hood hoes love hood dick. Shout out to the mother. Apparently, this is how they get it cracking in, where's this at? In Brooklyn? Is Brooklyn in the house? Huh? That's the best y'all could do in Brooklyn? Seriously, y'all gonna let this ride and y'all not gonna speak out and say something? That's who's getting all of the girlfriends in Brooklyn. 2 girlfriends. So that lets me know that they probably knew about each other. So, oh my goodness, there's so much wrong with this. The baby is only, what, 4 months old? Where is the biological father? Am I saying something that is inaccurate? We're going to talk about that here in a minute too. Where is the biological father? 4 months that you just gave birth to this beautiful little girl. And that quick, the father's not already in the life of this baby? Really? In 4 months? He took an innocent child's life for absolutely no reason, according to the mom, Erica Kemp, who's 24 years old, who met Price through a dating site this past November. Think about that for a moment. This nasty broad, in less than 4 months of giving birth to another man's baby, is already underneath another man. So you'd have to ask yourself, unless he was with you while you were pregnant, which I'm going to assume that he wasn't, because that would be even more disgusting. How did you already have a new, how well did you get to know this man in 4 months before you left your baby in his possession with no help? How well would you, let me put this into proper perspective. My daughter's mother knew me for 11 years prior to us having our daughter. And it still took her, maybe a couple of months before I started getting my first days with my baby without, just on my own. We had at least 11 years, or maybe, no, that's not right. 13, 23. Yeah, 11 years. She didn't even know this dude for a few months. And she's on a dating app. And I've told you guys, my opinion about women in dating when you have small children is I feel like you should not be dating. Is that controversial for you? Do you not like the fact that I said that? Let me tell you why I say that. First and foremost, when you have a young child, you should still be with the biological father. Or why did you have the baby and not stay with the man? If the man wasn't going to stay there, then the least you could have did was ask this man to marry you before you decided to get pregnant, because that was a choice that you chose. Y'all get mad wondering why I'm always pointing to the mothers? Because the daddies ain't there. And if y'all know that these dudes aren't good people, then why have babies by people who aren't good people? Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. Thank y'all for reminding me, AFC. That sounds like hashtag babies for benefits. Because why else would you have baby Royalty Kemp and not ask the dad to marry you, not require him to marry you before you got pregnant and laid down and had the kid, and he didn't make any commitment to stay with you? Y'all weren't together, then you go on a dating app and have the kid anyway? That sounds like you only had this child to collect benefits off of this child. Matter of fact, speaking of collecting benefits. We're going to talk about that GoFundMe, that inordinate GoFundMe here in just a moment, huh? Is that okay? She said he took the baby's life for absolutely no reason. Kemp left her daughter, the mother, Erica Kemp, left her daughter, and keep in mind, this is coming from nydailynews.com because I heard the mom, matter of fact, Illicit Deeds can tell you, the mom actually threatened to sue us. The biological mother threatened to sue us if we put out this story. So if we're getting our source from the news website, then sue them first. Because they put it out first. They put your baby's picture out. They put your boyfriend's picture out. They put your name out there. And they put the picture of that helpless, beautiful baby girl in the hospital clinging to life. They did that. Hashtag not my words. They said that the mom left the daughter at the apartment with her gamer boyfriend in the afternoon last month so she could go run an errand. So if she was running an errand, why wouldn't she just take the kid with her, or leave the kid with her mom, or leave the kid with a family member, maybe another mother, maybe a daycare, possibly? No, why do that? How about we just let the nigga that we just met off a dating app watch the kid? Makes perfect sense. I like having sex with him. Let's let him watch the baby. The infant was in bed when she returned around 11 p.m. Wow. He had to go run an errand at 11 p.m. Okay. After checking on the baby early the next morning, let me read that again. Lord, have mercy. After checking on the baby early the next morning, Kemp tried to rouse her baby at 10:30 a.m., alarmed that she hadn't woken up yet and found the child looked lifeless, the mother recalled. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second story this week that we've done that a so-called mother claimed that she thought her baby was okay. You just ran out to run an errand. You didn't check on the baby when you got home. Usually with a newborn baby, and most of y'all who are real parents should know this, like me and my daughter's mom would know this. You go check on that baby throughout the night, do you not? Yes or no? You go check on that baby throughout the night. Is that accurate? A responsible parent, a parent with just a wee bit of common sense would know that you go check on the baby. You got home and didn't check on the baby until 10:30 a.m. 12 hours. Thank you. Thank you, True Crime Chaos. 12 hours. She was alarmed that the baby didn't wake up and the baby looked lifeless. I really tried to wake her, said Kemp. I poured water on her face, running it over her head, just doing anything you could do to try to wake a person up. That's not a person, that's a baby. What the, man? Just want to punch somebody. Anyway. According to Kemp, the mother, the suspect had twice before watched the little girl without incident before she left Royalty with the boyfriend to go pay a fine and pick up her 6-year-old son's kindergarten certificate. She's also the mother of a 1-year-old boy. Oh my God. Woo! Jeez. Wow. Waterboarding a baby. Thank you. That's the same thing I'm thinking. Like, who does that? You call 9-11. What the hell, man? Everything common sense you could have did, you didn't do it. And I want y'all to remember this. They just said she had multiple kids. Oh, y'all missed that part? Let me read it again. This is a very short story. According to the mother, this dude had watched the baby 2 times before when she left to go pay a fine. Makes you wonder what she got a fine for. Not following the law. Huh? Dummy. So maybe we should skip the fact that the mom broke the law and got a fine in the first place. Let's skip past that because I'm sure we've all had fines. But she went to go pay a fine and pick up her 6-year-old son's kindergarten certificate. This is not my words. 6-year-old son, and it says, the news says she also has a 1-year-old boy. And a 4-month-old baby. I have a question. Where was the 6-year-old? In daycare? School? Was he being watched by somebody else? Where was the 1-year-old boy? Where the hell was he at? Clearly, he wasn't at the boyfriend's house with him. So here's the question. Why was the 4-month-old baby left with him? And he wasn't left with all of the children. She specifically left the little baby, the 4-month-old baby, with him. Where were the other children? You know what that also tells me? And some of y'all didn't even pick this up. For that reason alone, that lets me know that all of those children probably had different fathers. At least 2 of them did. How many of y'all picked that up? If he was only watching 1 out of 3 children, where were the other children? To me, that sounds like a woman who had multiple children by multiple men. The mother, Kemp of South Brunswick, New Jersey, said that she was told by police that her boyfriend, Price, who works as a security guard, so I guess he did have a job. Maybe he just wasn't, I guess he wasn't working that day, I guess. He worked as a security guard and he threw, oh my goodness. They say that he threw the crying child against a wall and banged a video game controller against the helpless baby's head. Y'all can go look this up yourself. He threw the baby. The baby was just crying. That's what babies do, right? That's what babies do. They say that this man, his video game session was interrupted. He took the baby and threw it against, he threw a 4-month-old baby against a wall and then took a controller and slammed it on the baby's head? But you know what? The mother is not going to be mad at the boyfriend. She's probably going to take up for him. She's probably going to be at court defending him, trying to see how high his bond is, try to start a GoFundMe to get him bonded out of jail. but me and illicit deeds will get harassed and emailed death threats and threats of legal procedures. We gonna take you to court. We's gonna sue you, AFC podcast, for yous talking about things that you don't know. Well, we actually had some of the family members in the comment sections that were actually commenting, leaving comments. They were trying to tell us, no, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Everything that y'all are saying is wrong. All of y'all opinions are wrong. But guess what they don't do? None of them would tell us what was right. None of them would tell us what was accurate. Don't y'all find that quite strange? You'll tell us what everything is that's wrong, but you won't tell us what's right. So why I don't get it. I don't get it. Why say anything at all? She said, I hope he gets a life sentence for what he did or get electrocuted, according to the mom, who grew up in Brooklyn. When people hear what he did, he's not going to have a very nice time in jail. That sounds like she don't give a crap at all. Price initially told police that Royalty was lying on his lap while he played video games, and he bounced her up and down in an effort to pacify the baby once she started crying. Here's the lie. But Price acknowledged that he accidentally used too much force, according to the police. On the morning of June 22nd, Price and Kemp rushed to the unresponsive baby to Woodhull Hospital before the little girl was transferred to Bellevue Hospital in Manhattan. Doctors there diagnosed a brain injury, a fractured skull, and internal bleeding. That don't sound like you bounced the baby up and down on your lap and maybe dropped her on the ground. That sounds exactly like you took the baby and threw her across a freaking room and smashed her head in with a damn game controller. That's what that sounds like. That's what that picture indicates to me. Y'all see that picture right there? That took some effort, hate, and force. Police arrived at Bellevue one day later, bringing both Price and Kemp to the 81st Precinct Station House, where the boyfriend allegedly admitted to what happened and was taken into custody. He remains behind bars with no bail on Rikers Island. It's a pretty tough place. Awaiting word of possible homicide charges now that the baby has died. So we expect him to get those charges. Police said Price has no record and the family has no history involving the Administration for Children's Services. So for those of y'all who asked about his record, he doesn't have a record. It was not immediately clear if the mother could face charges, if any. From my understanding, they're still digging into the case, said Kemp. I feel like now I'm being punished for something I didn't do. I'm going to say that again. This is coming from the mom. The mom said, from my understanding, they're still digging into this case. I feel like I'm being punished for something that I didn't do. But here's what you have to ask yourself. Did you not put your child inside of the thug lion cage at the thug zoo and walk off and leave your child in there to fend for itself in the midst of a thug gamer lion? Is that not what you did? So who's to blame for putting your child in a dangerous situation? When are we going to start stepping up and holding the people responsible for putting these children in the hands of people who are not qualified babysitters, caretakers, or fathers? Somebody has to be held responsible, and I think the person who has custody over the kid should be held responsible. Why did you have to be on a dating app? Why did you have to be trying to get your next penis? In less than 16 weeks of just giving birth. Has your coochie even healed up by that point? I'm sorry to be so disgusting, But I want you ladies to think about that. What do they usually tell you is the time frame that after you have a child that you're supposed to wait before you have sex, before you could possibly damage your own body? What's the time frame? It's about 8 to 16 weeks. Am I lying? I could be wrong. I don't know the answers. I'm not a medical doctor. Ain't nobody gonna rip my coochie up. So I'm just saying, man, this is absolutely disgusting. Her youngest son, who was in the apartment when his baby sister was beaten, the 1-year-old, was taken from Price after the tragedy. Her older son is living with his father. So there you go. There's the answer. So the 1-year-old baby was around there 6 to 8 weeks. Thank you. This baby was only 4 months old. Kemp says she's dreading breaking the news to her older son, who was very attached to his little sister and isn't looking forward to the grim months ahead. That makes that mother sound very selfish when she's talking about she's not looking forward to it, and she talking about she felt like she's being punished for something that she didn't do, which this is actually something you did do. But we'll get back to that. All the holidays are coming up. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Labor Day. She said, I didn't even get to spend one holiday with her. But if you ask me, it's because you made that bed. Now you have to lay in it. Fair usage, let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Let me say thank you to the one news station that showed a video on this, because if there were more, then I'm sorry, I couldn't find them. This is the only video I saw.
I'm Kurt Semder, and we're continuing to follow that breaking news of a 4-month-old baby girl allegedly killed by her mother's boyfriend in Bed-Stuy. That now behind bars. News 12's Greg Thompson outside of the Roosevelt houses right now with what we know so far. Greg.
Police telling us that 4-month-old Royalty Kemp was inside an apartment with her mother's boyfriend here at the Roosevelt houses when she suffered some kind of head trauma and had to be taken to the hospital. But after a week of medical care, she was pronounced dead. Officials telling us that their investigations show Royalty was allegedly with 23-year-old Ricardo Price, who was not her father, in an apartment on June 23rd when she started crying. Police believe Price responded by bouncing her up and down, with the baby's head repeatedly and violently hitting his knee, causing the injury that would eventually become fatal on July 1st. In the time between when Royalty was taken to the hospital and passed away, police arresting Price and charging him with multiple crimes, including attempted murder, assault, and reckless assault on a child. Several neighbors we spoke to off camera say the victim's mother and boyfriend had just moved to the building a few months ago and didn't talk to many people. Police say the investigation is still ongoing as they try and put the pieces together and figure out exactly what happened, the possibility of even increasing those charges on Price. In Bed-Stuy, Greg Thompson, News 12, Brooklyn.
All right. Are you guys ready to talk about this GoFundMe page? I know that's always exciting, because I know people do not like my stance on GoFundMe. They feel like I'm too mean and I need to just keep my mouth shut and not say anything and just let these people collect their money. Well, I'm not stopping them from collecting any money, but I can have an opinion about it, right? Here's the GoFundMe page. By who else? The biological mother. How many of you guys are surprised? Because I'm not surprised. So the mom, who had no life insurance on none of her children, nor herself. But you know what she said? She said, I've watched the news plenty of times, and I know that if one of your babies get killed by your boyfriend, then all you got to do is open up a crazy ass GoFundMe, and a bunch of benevolent white people will donate because they feel sorry about your problems. Yes? How much do y'all think she asked for a funeral for this baby? How much do y'all think she asked for? Let me break out my trusty whiteboard. How much y'all think she asked for? Can y'all see this up here? Can y'all see that number? Let me use a different color. Maybe y'all can't see that. Let me use a darker blue. No, let me use a little bit lighter blue. How about that one? Can y'all see that number right there? That's supposed to be a pointer. I didn't do it very well. Yes, $20,000. And it says this here, this girl probably got a 5th grade education herself. Listen to what the mom wrote. She said, and notice there's no punctuation. Jesus Christ. She said, this here is beautiful royalty, Violent Kemp. She was wrongfully abused to her death. My baby was hospitalized. Of course, she ain't gonna use no punctuation. Like, what's the point of having punctuation at all? There's just no point. She said she was wrongfully abused to death, and not abused, but abused to death. My baby was hospitalized for a week until they told me she was a gone. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. She couldn't have passed middle school. Couldn't have. I have to make this bigger on the screen so y'all can see I'm not lying. Y'all look at this. She actually said my baby was hospitalized for a week until they told me she was a gone. Oh my God. That is so embarrassing. To all my educated black people out there and all my educated black sisters out there, I am so sorry that I had to show this pure ignorance. Look at this. She was a gone. What the hell? When have we ever talked like that? She was a gone. I miss her every day, and I'm sorry this had to happen to her, but I want her to go in memory the best I can. So if you can donate anything, I'll be grateful. Oh my God. Grateful? Oh Lord. $20,000, but you won't give somebody $50 to write this, to just write this message for you, Jesus Christ. I'll be grateful. What is grateful? Let me ask Google. Let me ask Google. Let me see. Grateful. She spelled it Greatful. It says, Google says, grateful, Greatful, is an incorrect spelling of grateful, Grateful. People who use this word think it means to feel thankful for something, but are mixing it up with the spelling of great. Please keep her in your prayers because now I have Angel to watch over me. My God, that is so gross. That is so gross. But you know what? If you actually took time and wrote that message inside of Google, like the Chrome browser, it has a built-in spell check. Google will try to fix the spelling error for you, actually. Just, there's no reason to be this level of dumb. But I want y'all, I'm just so lost with this. I also want y'all to take a look at this. This is a screenshot from her Facebook page. Creepy or nah? And y'all see over here on the left-hand side what it says. And she said, LOL. Y'all see what that says? Do I need to leave that up any longer so y'all can see it? Okay. Let me also take a look at this. Her cousin wrote, she wants no version, the mother wants no version of this story out at all. All she wants to do is to lay her daughter to rest. No mother wants the world knowing their child died and making up things that didn't happen. That's the cousin. Let me show y'all another screenshot. This is her cousin on Facebook. And she said calmly, y'all can SMD, suck my D word. If my cousin was an interview by a news outlet, then don't believe what they're putting out. If it doesn't say that she said this, then don't run with it. It's defamation of character, and she can surely sue them with that, especially if they don't have permission from her to run the story out. So let me get this straight, Erica and Bree Savvy, you smart, intelligent women who feel like y'all know the law. This is y'all open invitation to sue me. If you know what laws we broke by telling the information that the coroner put out for the police to put out to the news stations, for the arrest details to come out against the boyfriend, for the statements that the boyfriend gave to the police that gave to the news stations, for the statement that the mother gave to the police that gave to the public because they were making an arrest on him. What of that can we be legally sued for? I'd love to find out, because I have, out of all the people that have threatened to sue me, I have yet to see one court paper come in for somebody trying to take me to court over something that I've said in a video. Now, they've tried to flag the videos. That's one thing. That's not suing me, and that's not taking me to court. But I just think that people like that are full of hot air. They're selfish, and they don't care about their children. This woman used this child for the benefits that she could collect off of this kid, probably for child support, probably for the housing that she was living in, because that baby provides food, clothing, and shelter, and possibly even driving privileges, because some states actually give car vouchers just because you have kids. I want you guys to also notice the fact that the government has been giving out stimulus checks. That started the middle to end of last year. You know what else the government also did? The more kids you have, the more what you get, the more money you get. Want y'all to notice, she has a 1-year-old baby. 1 year ago, that would have put us directly in the middle of the pandemic, which the pandemic actually started in February of last year, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months. Doesn't that sound kind of ironic? 5 months prior to a year. Does that not sound like a come up? 2 kids that you had within the pandemic while they're giving out checks. I'm just throwing it out there. And on top of that, while we're talking about being money hungry, I want y'all to remember, don't think that DJ Just Jay is just pulling something out of his behind. when you put up a $20,000 GoFundMe. And I want y'all to also remember that when children are victims of crimes in most states, the state will actually pick up the bill for the burial of that child. Am I right or am I wrong? They usually will pick up the bill to bury the child. So what is $20,000 for? Why would anybody donate $20,000 to a GoFundMe of a dead baby when we won't even donate that kind of money to living babies? Why put that money into the ground when you can put that money into our living children, those who can't speak for themselves and those who cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of their mom's boyfriend? I want y'all to think about this. I've been educating people for long enough. You need to have life insurance. You need to have a father in the home. You need to have a nuclear family. You need to have a plan before you start procreating. You need to know that these children are going to need daycare. You're going to need to go run errands. You're going to need to go to work. You need to have a suitable place to be able to put these children. And in 4 months of you having this kid and less than 12 months of having the other kid, because the other kid is 1, why are you on a dating app? Maybe that's the last fucking place that you need to be. If you have a child that's 1 year old and a child that's 4 months old, maybe stop dating. I'm DJ Just J. We're the AFC, and we're going to continue to stand on principles that will start saving children if we see something and say something, and to those who are smart enough and less selfless enough to take care of their children properly. Put the children first. We believe babies' lives matter, and I wish these babies' lives mattered to this mother, to these boyfriends, to all these fathers, to baby royalty. I hope that dude gets life in prison. They are going to do some horrible things to him in Rikers Island. But to that beautiful baby girl, let me see if I can get a solo picture of her. Young Princess Royalty, R.I.P. R.I.P. Princess. Thank y'all for listening with an open mind and an open heart. I hope you subscribe to the channel. We have more videos and a lot more things to talk about, okay? Thank y'all so much for your support. We actually have a second story. How many people came here to listen to the Summer Wells story? Let's get right into this. We're not going to take a whole lot of time. And I'm sorry I took so much time with that particular story. I didn't realize I had that much to say about that, but I really, really needed to get that off my chest. Because I'm not good with just going off the dome, but it was so much stuff I was thinking about that I said, I got to get this out. And I actually had a lot more to say, but I'm going to kind of keep it brief. Because I know it's really late at night. I know some of y'all got to go to work. Unlike that fake ass security guard talking about, oh, he had a security guard job. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. How many of y'all believe that that fool in that last story had a job? I don't believe that. How he got all this time to be doing all this babysitting if he had a job? I don't believe it for a moment. You said that's why we're here? Good deal. Okay. Queen Sheba, welcome, welcome. All of you guys, if y'all would, please click that thumbs up. Not only for Royalty Kemp, but for Summer Wells. We're getting ready to dive right into this. We're not going to waste a lot of time. We have 735 people. We're hoping to start averaging about at least 1,000. If we can ever get there, that'd be cool. We need 140 more people to click that thumbs up, please. If we get 140 more people to click that thumbs up, bring us to 600 thumbs up. I will be super happy with that. Let's talk about this beautiful baby that y'all see on my screen. Let me mute this website real quick because it's got a lot of ads. Hold on. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank y'all so much for being patient. I know my email had got kind of full over the past few months. And I want to say thank you for those who actually sent me the story, because I did get it a while ago, but we're just now visiting the story. So I thank you guys so much for your attention to this story. I said this story about a little girl by the name of Summer Wells. Okay. Now, the father of this 5-year-old girl who vanished from her home in Tennessee a month ago offered a grim prediction that his own daughter is no longer alive. And that's according to the biological father, this guy. He said, "I'll see her in the resurrection." So he already believes the worst. Very crazy. That beautiful baby that you see right there, her full name is Summer Moon Utah Wells. And she was reported missing from her Rogersville home on June 15th, last month. That was exactly 30 days ago. Around 5:30 p.m. after her parents said that she went into the basement alone and then she disappeared. Which I'm going to tell you guys, that already does not sit well with me. They say she went to the basement of the house and she disappeared. I will give you guys my theory here in just a moment. Let me tell you a little more about the story. In an interview with the local newspaper Monday, Summer's father, by the name of Donald Wells, said that he doesn't expect the girl will be found alive. Statistically speaking, there's a good chance that she's already dead. Donald told the news, "I hate to think that. I love her with all my heart." And I do partially understand where he's coming from, and I do mean partially. We'll come back to that. "If nothing else," he continued, "I'll see her in the resurrection. As long as I keep the commandments and do what I'm supposed to do, I will see her." Summer's parents have maintained that she was lured away from the home by a stranger, but authorities have not labeled the case as an abduction. They have not labeled this case as an abduction and say that they are still exploring all possibilities. Please bookmark that. We'll come back to it. Summer had been playing outside planting flowers with her mother, Candace Bly, and her grandmother, Donald, previously told the news, and went inside on her own. She was reportedly wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts and may have been barefoot. In his news report interview, Donald suggested that someone may have been hiding in the weeds there waiting for her to go into the basement. I know things like this can happen. They have happened. But I just generally think logically, what's the likelihood of that random thing happening the way that he said it? I just think that sounds really crazy. It looks like they're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I can't really tell. Let me back this up and let y'all look at that house. Or at least that place of residence. Right here. It looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, a little unkept, but it's some people live that way. I don't think it's just the worst thing in the world, but it is what it is. But it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. Like it don't look like you got a bunch of neighbors. It doesn't look like a neighborhood. Now I could be wrong about all of that. Okay? But it just doesn't sound right to me. And I'm going to tell you guys real quick before we get to that point. While they're out searching the woods, searching the ponds, searching all around for this baby, in a lot of these cases that we've talked about, usually the person that you should be looking at is right under your nose. Do you not remember that story out of Las Vegas, Terrell Rhodes? Amari Nicholson was interviewing right there on camera. Do y'all remember the mother who killed the father's son, and she stood right there and gave an interview? Then we had another set of parents who gave an interview, and they ended up arresting the biological father. That's been happening a lot this year. All I'm saying is sometimes when you out looking everywhere else and you don't have any credible suspects anywhere else, why would they have sought out your house? How would they have known the girl was at your house? Why would they have chosen your place, your daughter? Why? Not saying that it wouldn't happen, but all I'm saying is that sometimes when you're looking everywhere else, you usually need to look right where you started. Let's keep going. In the newspaper interview, he suggested that somebody might have been hiding in the weeds, waiting for her to go into the basement. That's very specific. He said his belief was confirmed when police dogs picked up her scent in the backyard and followed it through the woods, eventually reaching the end of their road. We've had several people sneaking around there, but we've had them sneaking around at night, he said. We've never had someone up there at 5:30 in the afternoon that we know of. They didn't come up the driveway. They came up a dog trail from the woods, he said. The dog that they used, that's where the scent took them, down through the woods, not the driveway. It's really discouraging, Donald added. Only God can turn this around at this point. The police can't come up with anything, he said. All these people on Facebook all over the world can't come up with anything. Nobody can. Only God can. Donald also said he would do anything to have his baby back and has put his faith in God. I've made up my mind not to let Satan win. I've still got to move forward. I still got to go to work. I've still got to try, even though I miss her. We live in an evil world. I'm not the first one to lose a family member. All sorts of tragedies have happened since the beginning of creation. There have been all kinds of bad stuff going on. Despite these tragedies, though, he said he's not going to go back to drinking. That's kind of a random thing to bring up. The fact that you used to be a drunk, used to be a lush. Why would you bring that up? To me, that's a yellow flag. That's a yellow flag. Let's put that away for now. I'm not going to let Satan convince me to go to drinking. Like Satan has anything to do with that. But anyway, Donald said in that phone interview with the local news, I'm not going down that road. I chose life. I chose God. I get what he's saying, but then again, I don't. Let me see if I can try to shorten this just a little bit because there is a lot to this story. Both he and the mother have criminal records previously. Uh-oh. Are we going to get into criminal records? Yes. Lee says she thinks it's a red flag. Okay, I'm with you. I think it's a yellow flag. She thinks it's a red flag. But Lee has a hell of a lot more experience in this field than I do. And I tend to trust my sister on that. So shout out to Lee in the chat. Both him and the mom have previous criminal records. Donald was arrested on domestic assault charges in 2020, very recently, leading Candace to file for an order of protection against him, writing, I am afraid for my children and myself. Interesting, huh? She said, I'm afraid for my children and myself. Life or death situation, right? Y'all still think it's kind of far-fetched? Let's keep going. She later asked for the order to be dismissed, and the charges against Donald were dropped on April 21st, 2 months before the little girl's disappearance. That also sounds very fishy. 2 months before the child disappeared, and you dropped the order of protection. Very interesting. because the mother was also worried about the safety of her children, and now something has happened to the safety of one of her children, right? Both parents were ordered to take a lie detector test as part of the investigation into the disappearance, and they reportedly passed. Let's skip some of this. They said they passed a lie detector test. He added that his 3 sons and mother-in-law were also questioned about Summer's disappearance and claimed that in the aftermath, someone created a fake social media profile for him, and then they put on there that I buried someone, some other woman's body at the lake. So the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has been looking in the lake, which you guys can see from that picture. Let me see if I can go back right here. They've been looking in the lake. But he said it's just ridiculous what people are doing. Donald also said that Summer loved me and I don't know why. I never had someone love me that much in my life, and it's been awesome between me and her, he claimed. It really has killed me since she's been gone. That's a real bad usage of words. It killed me? Okay, all right. Let's keep going. Got a little bit more to tell, y'all. Bear with me. Tennessee investigators have since received nearly 1,000 tips. 1,000 unique tips in connection with the disappearance of Summer. But the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said that none of those leads have panned out so far. Right now, everything is still on the table. We're still trying to find out what happened to her, and everybody's still a person of interest. Investigators are still looking for a red pickup truck that may have been nearby when Summer went missing, and asking neighbors to check their home security footage for any evidence that might locate her. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance have yet to be determined and have not yet been announced. And let me see. And authorities have not yet announced a person of interest in this case. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced Special Agent in charge Shelley Smitherman said that the case has been frustrating for law enforcement. Initial searches were marred by poor cellular service, which means they were out in the middle of nowhere, like I thought, and challenging terrain in the woods near the home, and they have still not received a credible lead. Now, typically on an Amber Alert, within a couple days, we have a tip or a lead, or have an idea if they've been abducted, if they may have maybe left into the woods, she said in another video posted to Twitter on Tuesday. Somebody saw something that leads us, hopefully, to get an answer where the child went or if they were taken. We're going to have some tip or lead, she said, adding that the fact that they have not received such information in this case is the frustrating part of law enforcement. Now, Summer is described to be as about 3 foot tall, weighing approximately 40 pounds, with a closed crop blonde hair and blue eyes. Anybody with information or asked or know about her whereabouts is asked to call I can't talk. Let me calm down. The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121 or call 800-TBI-FIND. TBI find. Let me give you the fair usage. Let's listen to a couple of news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, and if you guys are listening to the sound of my voice, if y'all would do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. Help share this story. We're at 562 thumbs up. So we are about 38 thumbs up short. We're 38 thumbs up short of our goal of 600. So we only need 38 more people to click that thumbs up. Y'all look at this, baby. Share these stories. The more that we share these stories, the more we continue to put the word out there. maybe we can find something. We could all band together on this, okay? Maybe we might get a good outcome. You never know. True Crime Chaos said they didn't care about her. She only got attention at church. Huh. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, here we go. Let's get it.
It's been more than a week since 5-year-old Summer Wells went missing.
We are more concerned than ever and desperate to find her.
The child was last seen at her home in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Law enforcement and concerned citizens combed through the area, navigating rough terrain in some places, but have yet to find her. The investigation hasn't turned up much information either. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says the circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear.
While we've not ruled out an abduction, we simply do not have any evidence at this point to confirm that's what occurred. It's possible that she wandered off and is lost and afraid.
Summer Wells is described as 3 feet tall, weighing 40 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing gray pants with a pink shirt. She was possibly barefoot. The local sheriff is asking the community to do their part to bring her home.
It's easier for you to check your own property than it is to send officers there. We have not stopped. As Captain will tell you, we've been 24/7 for 6 days now. So we desperately need help from the community now searching their own property.
Anyone with information on Summer Wells is urged to contact the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Here's the next video.
An update now on continuing Amber Alert searches for Summer Wells. News Channel 5's Nick Barris is in the 5 Alert Center. And Nick, it seemed like a quiet weekend for search crews.
Yeah, it was quiet, and sadly, Amy, not much new to report, though. They've emphasized time and again, no one is giving up on this search, but it's now been, think about it, nearly 3 weeks since the 5-year-old vanished from her home in far northeast Tennessee. So here now is the latest. We do know the TBI has now received roughly 800 tips regarding the missing Rogersville girl, but still nothing. Rumors on social media run rampant, but nothing is proved to be credible. And trust me, if there is...
I'm not sure if the TBI actually confirmed that they passed the lie detector test. That part I'm not sure of, but I would definitely love to hear from them on that. I wish they would clarify that.
This is a new development. We'll hear from the TBI or FBI or the Hawkins County Sheriff. They are under enormous pressure to solve this case, and if there is something to report, they will release it promptly as long as it does not jeopardize the investigation. Unfortunately, they haven't had anything new to share, but I do know that at least at this point, more is going on behind the scenes that has been made public. But the frustrating part right now, Amy, is no new leads.
And Nick, what do your sources tell you about the current status of the investigation?
After 3 weeks without finding any trace using the K9 units out there and the like, they doubt that Summer just wandered off and got lost in the woods. So what are the options other than that? The focus right now is on this likely means she was abducted or the victim of foul play. Summer, alive or dead, may well have been taken from the area, or somehow she may be concealed nearby. The key now is for someone to come forward with information. Keep in mind, there remains more than $50,000 in reward money. Anyone with information on this case asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Send it back to you in the studio.
Law enforcement spoke for the first time on camera today in more than 2 weeks on the disappearance of Summer Wells.
You'll remember families said they last saw the 5-year-old at their home in Hawkins County in the Beech Creek community on June 15th. Bianca Murray spoke with one of the lead agencies in the case.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson tells me everything is on the tables. Investigators are not ruling out an abduction or that she might have walked away from her home. Their only goal is to find Summer, but they're saying it's difficult with circulating rumors on social media.
In my position and my detectives, everywhere we go, everybody wants to share their opinion, which is, we understand that. But 99.9% of the things that people are posting or saying, we've already looked into and taken care of.
Lawson says anyone living in roughly 5-mile radius of the Beech Creek community.
Y'all see that? That's literally in the middle of nowhere. They don't have a bunch of neighbors out there. That's what I'm saying. I think the people that might be guilty of this might not be that far. Might not be that far off at all.
Community should look at their trail or security camera footage again from the day Summer disappeared.
And sometimes people will think, well, I saw that, but it probably wouldn't mean anything. But the least little thing to us may be something huge. So that's why we ask for the public, everything they see, to continue to check their property, their outbuildings and different things like that.
What kind of a toll has this taken on your department?
Mentally, physically, and emotionally. A lot of my officers have small children.
Real quick, let me say thank you, Our Problem, Our Solutions. Said, I love you bringing light to this, but I hate that this is actually happening every day. I could easily do these stories every day, and I'm not gonna lie, that's real depressing. It really is. But thank you so much for showing some love and saying that, because I agree with your message for sure.
Grandchildren, and we know what goes through our mind if that would be our child or grandchild.
And no, I don't believe that little girl would have just went and wandered out there and went out and got lost. I don't believe that excuse either. Children are very smart. Babies are very smart.
Plus, us spending so much time in Beach Creek for 3 weeks, but my office never stopped. We're still answering all the same amount of calls, still, bringing people to jail, investigating other cases, and it just wires you out.
Investigators are still hoping to find a potential witness who drives a red or maroon truck that was spotted in the Ben Hill Road neighborhood the afternoon of June 15th.
The biggest thing is the ladder racks and the white buckets. Means that they do some kind of work, and that vehicle was seen in the area sometime during her disappearance. And we're just wondering if they saw something. They may hold that little piece I was talking about earlier that would blow this thing wide open, let us know where Summer is if they saw something. And we've searched and found so many of them, just not the right one yet.
Sheriff Lawson tells me that if anyone has a credible tip, not a social media rumor or opinion, but something they may have seen near the Beach Creek community that day, to let authorities know.
We continue our coverage on the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells.
It has been exactly 1 month since she was last seen at her home in Hawkins County in East Tennessee. News Channel 5's Cole Johnson joins us live at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation headquarters where work is ongoing. Cole, there's really been an enormous and exhaustive
saying that they will not quit until she found. Teams continue today.
I'm trying to get to the interview. Let me see if this is the one. I think this is the one where either the mother or grandmother says something. If not, I'm going to skip this video.
Search for 5-year-old Summer Wells, the Hawkins County girl at the center of a Tennessee Amber Alert. 10 days have passed since she was reported missing, and that's where we begin. News Channel 11 at 5 o'clock on this Friday. Thank you for being with us. I'm Josh Smith.
I'm Sarah Diamond. Now, authorities did not hold a news briefing today in the case. They said previously there will not be daily briefings when there are no new developments. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation posted on social media the agency has received 394 tips since family members reported Summer missing the evening of June 15th. She has blonde hair, blue eyes, and is about 3 feet tall.
In the 10 days since she was reported missing, search teams from over 100 agencies, teams from 6 states have spent endless hours searching for the missing 5-year-old. And they've covered, they say, over 3,000 acres in the area near her home on Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County, where she was last seen. And that's where Bianca Murray joins us live tonight. She's near the Search Command Center.
Bianca, you spoke with Summer's mother and grandmother today. What did they tell you?
Josh and Sarah, I took a trip down to Ben Hill Road this afternoon with a friend of the Wells family. Now that's where the Wells family lives. I met Summer's mom and grandmother, neither of whom felt up to doing an on-camera interview, but they spoke to me about how much they miss Summer. In a statement, Summer's mom, Candace Wells, told me she knows Summer would never leave her home alone.
She knows she would never wander off. Told you. Told you. She would never wander off. Most smart children wouldn't do that. I think the majority of children are intelligent. Now, some children might veer off from that level of intelligence, but for the most part, most kids ain't gonna just, like, that's their home. They're not gonna just wander off like that. It's just not likely.
Summer's grandmother, Candace Hera, told me in a statement, quote, "Bring my grandbaby home. She is a lovely baby and we're so thankful for everyone looking for her. We yelled and looked for her as much as we could. She was just gone. It's devastating." The Wells family told me today that they don't want to go on camera because they don't want to give any more reason for people on social media to spew negativity at them. And they tell me that they are getting quite a bit of negativity right now. Tonight at 6, you will hear from a family friend who is begging for compassion for the family at this point. Live in Beach Creek, I'm Bianca Murray for News.
So when her mother come in.
Okay, let me let y'all hear this. This is the biological father. Let's add this in here to our recording. That's the biological father. Let me let this play out.
So when her mother come in, she says, "Where's Summer?" She went down in the basement. She didn't answer, so she went down there and she was gone. So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since.
This morning, Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
Please, let Summer be okay, and please come home.
He says it's unlikely Summer would leave the house on her own. Wells says the last time anyone in the family saw Summer was when she entered the house to play in the basement after gardening with her mother and grandmother. Wells also spoke about his gut feeling about Summer's whereabouts.
Some bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and drug addicts.
We're trying to think.
Now, this is the part that the people in the chat were talking about. They said this area has sex offenders in it. Let me back that up. I don't remember what radius they just said, but let me let y'all hear this part again. Let's not skip this, because this could very well be a big break in the case. Matter of fact, if they know that they have registered sex offenders in the place, then you know what I would do? I would round every single one of those bastards and bastards, round them up, question them all, search their houses, search their property, search their cars. That should be legal, especially when a child in the area that you live in turns up missing. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? If y'all think that's a violation of their rights, then I just think when it comes to our children, sometimes it's okay to violate some rights, a few of them, in the name of our babies, especially if they're sex offenders. Then they've already proven that they're dangerous around children. Let's hear that again about these sex offenders out there in this area. Let's hear that again.
Bad person grabbed her, but we have no idea.
Wells says law enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and drug addicts.
We're trying to think, beat our brains out. We've covered everything that we can think of already.
Investigators say they have followed up on 85 tips so far. Wells says he is overwhelmed by the massive numbers of personnel on site.
We just really appreciate everybody.
If you have proof of that in the chat, please look that up. I'm not going to put that on that man if that's not accurate. People are saying that there's something on him. I cannot put that on him. All he's admitted to is that the fact that he used to drink and that there was a protection order against him that the mom put on him. That other part, unless y'all can verify in the chat, look it up and see if that's true or not about his record. Because if that's not true about him, I can't put any something like that false against him. I can't do it.
Out. We've covered everything that we can think of already.
Investigators say they have followed up on 85 tips so far. Wells says he is overwhelmed by the massive numbers of personnel on site.
We just really appreciate everybody trying to help that they have, law enforcement and all these volunteers that are here. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life.
That was John Janko reporting those sentiments shared by Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, who said he has never seen a show of public support like this in his 4 decades of law enforcement.
Yeah, today the TBI and Sheriff Lawson said Summer's family does continue to cooperate in this ongoing search for the little girl. They say that at all points the family has continued to be assisting in this process.
It's been nearly a month since 5-year-old Summer Wells was last.
I hear what y'all are saying, but your comments are being shown on the screen so people can still go back and read what you wrote. So if that is true, then we'll have to revisit this. We'll have to come back to it and talk about this again. But for now, I just want to be, out of respect, I want to be very careful. But y'all, like I say, if y'all know something that I don't, then fine. You can definitely talk about it in the chat. But I just want to make sure that I don't speak something that I don't know about.
According to has been a little over 3 weeks. It's been nearly a month since 5-year-old Summer Wells was last seen. According to the TBI, more than 900 tips have been called in, but none have resulted in a solid lead. A child psychologist with Hawkins County Schools says they'll have online resources for parents at the start of the school year. She says parents should have open conversations with their children in order to ease some of the worry kids have been feeling.
It has been a little over 3 weeks since 5-year-old Summer Wells was reported missing from Hawkins County. Now, the TBI says it has received 870 tips since then. Crews say they have not given up the search. An Amber Alert was issued for her back on June 16th. If you live in the Beach Creek community and have any information or surveillance camera video that has not been reviewed, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND or call 911.
If you've tried to buy a
But I want to remind you guys, for the people who are posting that, talking about his son, if that's indeed true, I have a feeling, remember I told y'all, I feel like the truth is not far from that house, far from the association with that house. I feel like we will get some answers very soon, okay? Now, it'll be a bonus if this baby turns out to be alive. We're just going to have to hope about that. But you know, as we get more information, we'll talk about that at a later point. But as far as my closing thoughts, all we could do is hope and pray at this point. We're spreading this information and we're spreading as much as we can. We don't want to put too many rumors out there because there's already a lot of them out there, and rumors a lot of times aren't super helpful. So I want to definitely make sure we just stick with what we know for right now. And we know that the little girl is still missing. And I think that if there are sex offenders in that area, I think they all need to be rounded up, investigated, search their properties, search for leads, search for something. Somebody around there has to know something, and I don't think it's very far away. But I hope they look more into that, and I hope we can get an answer. Even better, I hope that we can get this baby back alive, okay? So y'all please keep her in your thoughts. Keep her in your prayers. We'll come back and visit this again, and hopefully the next time we talk about Summer, let me put some respect on her name, Summer Moon Utah Wells. The next time we talk about her, we hope that she's been found and she's well, okay? Thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. From my heart to yours, I love you guys. We'll see you guys on the next stream, okay? Thank you, and y'all have a good day. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap us up. Thank all of you guys. We reached our goal of 600 thumbs up, 800 people in the building. Make sure you guys, if y'all have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, hit that subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share. Look at our links. We've got free music. We've got t-shirt links. We got so much stuff, different ways you can support us. Even if you don't want to support the AFC, go support Bags for Kids. Go support sayitwithchess.com, Illicit Deeds. Make sure you guys go support Nora's 915. Show our sponsors some love. Let's get it.
Nora's Authentic Designer has some of the most glamorous and stylish handbags your girl has ever seen. So ladies, if you want to get fly, and fellas, if you want to take care of your lady, please be sure to go to www.noras915.com. www.noras915.com. That's right, www.noras915.com.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow.
We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-sized masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
Check out this wonderful organization that I'm proud to be a part of. It's called Bags for Kids, BAGS4KIDS.org. And check out their website. They really help a lot of kids in foster care, giving them a permanent piece of luggage and also a lot of items that they might need so that they feel that they belong, which they do. So go to the website, bags4kids.org. So go for it. It's a great place and they're doing great work.
Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else.
Yes, indeed.